What up, world? This Eternal Authenticity broadcasting live, continuing the video podcast, whatever. And yeah, I'm speaking of continuing about cause and effect. So, like, the whole cause and effect thing is just what I learned. I mean, obviously, we learn from common sense and just experiences, but also just like with learning from, I learned from my mentor about just brushing up, just the word, just bringing up this whole notion of cause and effect, awareness of this whole principle, you know, of this ancient Egyptian principle, cause and effect, Hermetic principle. I don't know all the books. I haven't read any of the books, but I just am aware of it. And anyways, like, it's just common sense. Like, I guess that's why they talk about love. They say that few actually surrender all the way in love, like the layers of love. Like my mentor, Ralph Smart Infinite Water, says there's 7 layers of love. It's not just their booty or their six pack or their car or their chain or something like that. It's so many layers of it. And like the last layer is like surrender, and like people know what that is. Like I'm not even into any of that reckless stuff. I have been around it, exposed to it and stuff, but it's like it's not me. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of that stuff is cause and effect, to be honest. Like, and we learned that when we transitioned to be vegan, because the fact that I'm a vegan, I'm living a karma-free life because, for one, I'm saving at least one animal's life a day, probably more, especially how many dogs I've boarded and cared for while their guardians were traveling, but like one a day. Two, energetically, I'm only consuming life. When you're eating meat and processed, heavy, toxic junk, poisonous stuff, it already takes that fearful, manipulative, narcissistic type of energy to want to go kill anything, and especially an animal, to go kill it and eat it. So that's already an energetic violation right there, and that's the toxic, you know, frequency that gets absorbed into your DNA, your bloodstream, and like that's why they can come off as they're fearful. What you consume is what you transform into, literally, and I noticed that within myself, like from living and being a meat eater, not really cared about, higher vibrations and health and wellness and all that stuff. I was working out, I was meditating. I was still out in the sun, drinking water, exercising. I had some of the parts together, but like the last little few parts I was missing was the food stuff. And that started when I finally took out the meat. I finally took out the dairy. I finally took out all this just junk crap that doesn't mean anything, calorie stuff or whatever, and finally started to get to the source, the root of stuff. And yeah, it is a really bumpy street out here, so bear with me. But anyway, it's like, like that's what I had to do. And I noticed a change within myself. Yeah, I might have been heightened with my sensitivity, of course, and very more awakened and expressive, and at the same time, I'm also able to know how to channel and harness my energy, the lion, the kundalini, whatever you want to call it. Like, instead of me just so stiff and rigid and tight and just, angry, mad, aggressive so much, so often, and disguising it, and just being like you know, just being like a bully in a way, being like just a tough guy, whatever you want to call it, being just, I'm not gonna be so hard on myself, but I will say that, to be honest, the little time I did have, going out to clubs and stuff, to eating toxic foods and stuff, you know, it was very ungrateful behavior, even bratty behavior, to be honest, toxic behavior, literally, I won't be so hard on myself, but it is true. I'm no saint. I'm no perfectionist. Every there's no person, there's nobody, there's no life no life on this whole entire planet and this entire universe that has a clean slate, that hasn't ever had learning experiences, had downfalls, had moments that ruffle their feathers. There's nobody that's been through a life like that. I don't care who you are or how you look. That's just the truth. Okay. So I'm just speaking that, like, I'm grateful to be at this point now, that I'm free, I'm alive, and I'm here to live a long life of triple digit years, probably. And, the whole cause and effect thing, I'm glad I've been smart and awake since day one because I never gravitated towards that. I already knew the vibes, the energy of certain stuff. Like whenever I was around certain environments or people or, you know, hearing certain stuff, absorbing certain frequencies, I kind of already knew something was up with the world, so I didn't ever feed into it or fall victim or be defeated by it at all, And then ever since I went vegan, especially, that has amplified me up even higher on the level of the pyramid, totem pole of power, of oneness, of fearlessness, of all that stuff, and of ultimate, strength and will and power and freedom within, truly. So like some of these moments, around people, this and that, it can be kind of testing. It can be very sensitive to certain frequencies and energies and stuff. And like, you realize that it's powerful, the fact that you crossed over and made that choice to be vegan, to realize what you're doing, the depth of it, you know what I'm saying? On so many levels, it's so deep of how beneficial us vegans are, you know. So it's just true. You know what I'm saying? It's just very true with the lifestyle choice. There's honestly no going back with it, because it's that rewarding to be able to breathe as yourself and to speak as yourself. It's very rare. It's very rare. So that's why I'm a champion, and that's why I'm continuing to expand and develop the legacy I'm leaving behind, So some deep stuff, some very deep stuff. Those split seconds, instances can really test you. So it's important to really know yourself and to be mindful and aware of these things, of these instances, of these patterns, of these intuitive, intuitive feelings, the internal voice that you have, all that stuff. Use your best internal decision making, for these things. Don't let this world try to change you. Don't let people try to guilt you. Don't let people try to guilt you, at all. And don't let them try to guilt you into being like them or stooping down to their level. Because if they're already attempting to bring you down, they're already beneath you. And that's the truth, because I'm always seeing in equal eyes, eye to eye. So therefore, that's why universal law states that that two opposing frequencies don't exist the same space and time. So that's how you know things are going on in the world when there may be an unpleasant encounter, a stick, a bump, or whatever. It shows that that's like a parasite that's in the road, a parasite, a leech, a vampire, a glitch, whatever you want to call it, that's in the road trying to knock you off the path. And it wants you to turn into this as well, But what can you do? Yep, paper beats rock. Exactly. So you see how spontaneous I am and clever I am. It's just the truth though, with that whole scenario. Like they come up like this and you're just floating on by with your paper airplane, enjoying yourself, the view, all the love, everything. They're trying to stop you. They want you to turn into this. And y'all, you get down to this heavy, lower energy, vibration, like a anchor, But guess what? You get to rise, chop it up, spit it out, basically. So anyways, y'all have an amazing day. Cause and effect. This message will get to the right people. Bottom line is I broadcast and share peace, love, and elevation and realness. I'm no saint. I'm no perfectionist. I don't know it all. It's just I'm sharing a message of healing, of revitalization, of, just becoming our best self, you know, growing, rising, and just reaching these inner dreams and inner plans and inner amazing desires that we have that we're called to, experience. I'm here to continue doing the work to live the most amazing life I possibly can. And that's with a lot of different changes within me, the food choice, boom, I'm already living a karma free life. The tension and resistance I might have had in the relationships I've been with, you know, things always could have gotten worse. And at the same time, I still have always been protected, you know, and I'm always free, So, like, realizing these certain things, it helps fuel us to move forward. So, like I'm saying, is that, when we know these simple things, it can help us to move forward. Like, I'm living a karma free life. Maybe I had some tension with relationships and stuff. I've learned not to hold the past against me. I've learned not to judge myself. I've learned, not to feel guilty for any type of bumps in the road for the relationship, because I'm aware that I am improving and evolving and healing and becoming a better man than I was yesterday at an extremely high level, an amazing, astonishing level, So, like, therefore, all the stuff before I went vegan, it doesn't even matter. Me going vegan and tension with relationships doesn't even matter. They're just learning experiences, and up to today, yet again, another learning experience. It teaches us so many different lessons. Sometimes certain people don't even deserve your energy or explanation. And that's what I learned today, to be honest. Not to entertain these evil characteristics, you know, not to entertain, not to stoop down to fighting, for what? You know what I'm saying? For what? What? Exactly. So the point I'm making is that moving forward with the whole Christ Jesus consciousness, just our own unique consciousness. That's what I call it, out of peace, because it is the presence, and the fact that I have peaceful intentions, and the fact that, I have that working for me is the reason why I'm able to move forward with so much confident conviction within myself, because I'm aware of my heart and I have a very golden, strong, big heart, So I have that going for me, and I know who I am. I'm learning even more about who I am, and it's a lifelong journey of learning and healing ourselves. So, anyways, y'all have an amazing day. It's Eternal Authenticity Broadcasting Live. Peace.